Famous Autopsies Part 8, where I break down celebrity autopsy reports. Brittany Murphy. Days before Christmas in 2009, Brittany Murphy collapsed in her bathroom, just minutes before she told her mom that she was scared and knew she was dying. The household had been sharing a flu-like bug in the weeks prior, so obviously nothing to worry too much about, right? Well, her friends were worried. They had been completely cut off from the starlet, and her recent reputation told the story of a girl who was lost, possibly in an abyss of prescription medications and alcohol. She was shrinking in size, and her husband seemed to take over every aspect of her life. When people had a rare run-in with her, she had a void look as if the lights were on but nobody was home. Brittany was rushed to the hospital where paramedics and doctors worked tirelessly to bring her back, but nothing worked. She was pronounced dead. Of course, most of you know that the story doesn't end there. Just half a year later, her husband died in the bed he first shared with Brittany and then Brittany's mother. His cause of death was nearly identical to hers: pneumonia and anemia. The examination. The body is well developed, normally muscular and slim but not excessively slim. There is petechia, located on the membrane covering her lungs. This is a discoloration due to bleeding and burst capillaries. Both lungs have a heavy, meaty consistency. This can be due to lung disease, but in this case it is due to fluid buildup known as pulmonary edema. This is a typical hallmark of pneumonia. The infection causes the lung tissue to swell, which can cause fluid and blood leakage from nearby vessels. The lower portion of the lungs appear especially dense. There are patches of redness in her colon. There are small areas of her kidney that are congested, which is indicative of shock kidneys. This is kidney damage, often caused by severe infection. Her platelets in her blood were too low, which helps it to clot. Her red blood cells were too small. This is a type of anemia often caused by low iron intake. She has both spiked levels of potassium and magnesium, which points to kidney failure, which would be a complication of the anemia. Her cause of death is listed as severe bronchopneumonia, respiratory distress syndrome, and anemia. Once her husband died of almost the same exact thing, all sorts of theories began flying. There was a possible mold outbreak in her home. Some people believe that her husband killed her and felt so guilty that he did the same thing to himself. At the end of the day, I am still stumped. I don't believe that this is an outright homicide. However, I do believe that her husband influenced her death somehow, whether it was not getting her help or keeping her confined. But I still can't solve this mystery, and it is maddening.